Crying face huge sad update. Jill Duggar has been hospitalized. Broken heart Derek Dillard is heartbroken as her health takes a turn for the worse. Stay tuned to hear the full story and how the family is coping during this difficult time. Person with praying hands. Jill Duggar breaks silence on social media hiatus. So nice to get away, family comes first in new life chapter. In a world where social media has become almost inseparable from everyday life, former reality star Jill Duggar Dillard has made a bold and telling move. She hit pause. As followers began to notice her recent absence from platforms like Instagram and Facebook, speculation swirled. Was she okay? Was something wrong in the Dillard household? But now, in a heartfelt update, Jill is addressing her time away from the digital spotlight and explaining why stepping back was not only intentional but deeply necessary. For fans of 19 Kids and Counting On, Jill's voice has always stood out. As one of the eldest daughters of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, her life has been under a microscope for over a decade. From courtship and weddings to motherhood and family disputes, Jill's journey has played out in front of millions. But now she's making it clear that some chapters are best written in private, far away from screens and scrolling timelines. In her emotional return to Instagram, Jill shared a carousel of serene photos, a wooded trail, her kids playing outside, Derek preparing food in their cozy kitchen, and even a candid selfie with no makeup and an exhausted but content smile. Alongside the images came the caption that stopped fans in their tracks. Took a little break from social lately. Sometimes it's just so nice to get away and focus on what really matters. That simple sentence held the weight of something far more meaningful. Jill is not just another influencer taking a digital detox. Her relationship with social media has always been complex. While it's been a way to connect with supporters and share glimpses of her independent life after stepping away from her parents' strict household, it has also come with emotional baggage, judgment, family tension, and public scrutiny. Every post seems to carry the pressure of unspoken expectations from a public that still divides itself between Duggar loyalists and those who support Jill's breakaway. But Jill isn't interested in playing either role anymore. In her update, she didn't just announce her return, she redefined it. She talked about finding joy in the mundane and beautiful parts of everyday life, revealing that she's been cherishing the quiet mornings with coffee before the kids wake up, the laughter around the dinner table, and the small victories in homeschooling her sons. It's a perspective that feels hard-earned. Ever since the release of her memoir Counting the Cost in 2023, Jill has been transparent about the emotional toll of her upbringing in the Duggar household and her struggle to separate her faith from the control that marked much of her young adult life. The book, co-authored with husband Derek Dillard, painted a vulnerable picture of a woman torn between familial loyalty and personal growth. In that light, her recent social media break reads not like avoidance, but like healing. Sources close to the Dillards say the past few months have been a season of internal growth for Jill. She's been focused on setting boundaries, protecting her peace, and giving her children the kind of childhood she wishes she had, one where love doesn't come with strings attached. While she hasn't spoken directly about her relationship with her parents since the memoir's release, her silence speaks volumes. By stepping back, she's sending a clear message. She refuses to let outside noise distract from her most sacred responsibility, being a present, intentional mother and wife. In one recent photo, Jill is seen planting flowers with her youngest child, a soft smile on her face as her hands dig into the soil. It's not just a snapshot, it's symbolism. A woman once tethered to televised expectations is now rooted in her own truth. The caption reads, "These are the moments I live for. No filter needed." That's Jill's new normal, authenticity without apology. The irony isn't lost on longtime fans. This is the same woman who once stood quietly on the edges of family photos, who followed rigid dress codes and posted only Bible verses on social media. Now she's using that same platform to advocate for self-care, therapy, and mental health, all topics that were once considered taboo in her world. Her break from social media wasn't just a break. It was a form of quiet protest, a stand for herself and her growing family. It also came at a time when the Duggar family name is still under heavy scrutiny. The aftermath of Josh Duggar's scandal continues to cast a shadow, and Jill has often been forced to answer for her family's sins, despite being one of the few to publicly speak out against them. In this context, choosing to go offline can be seen as an act of survival. A protective move not just for herself but for her sons Israel, Samuel, and Frederick, who are growing up in a world very different from the one Jill knew. In recent months, Jill and Derek have taken steps to embrace a quieter life. They've planted roots in a peaceful Arkansas suburb far removed from the compound-style living of her childhood. Their days are filled with library visits, outdoor hikes, community involvement, and moments of laughter that don't need to be recorded. For Jill, every second offline is a second earned. She's also made it a point to disconnect from toxic patterns. Friends say she's gotten better at saying no, at ignoring the opinions that once consumed her, and at choosing grace over guilt. Part of that healing has come from therapy, which Jill has openly discussed before, a radical admission for someone raised in the teachings of the Institute in Basic Life Principles (IBLP), which often discouraged secular counseling. But Jill isn't looking for permission anymore. The support she's received from her online community has been overwhelmingly positive. Thousands of fans flooded her comments with messages of encouragement. One user wrote, "So proud of you for taking the time you need. You're teaching your boys the power of presence." Another added, "You inspire me to slow down and focus on what truly matters." Still, not all responses have been warm. Jill, unfortunately, is no stranger to criticism. Some followers have accused her of abandoning her faith platform or questioned her choices as a mother and wife. But Jill doesn't seem rattled. Her recent posts carry a tone of quiet defiance, confidence in knowing that she doesn't need to please everyone. For the first time in years, she appears at peace. In a longer story shared through her Instagram highlights, Jill explained more about what prompted the hiatus. She described feeling mentally drained from constantly having to craft updates, respond to messages, and stay on for her followers. It was starting to affect her sleep, her patience, and even her marriage. One night, Derek just looked at me and said, "It's okay to rest." And I realized I hadn't been giving myself permission to do that. That conversation, Jill said, was a turning point. Now she's setting a new rhythm for her social media presence, one with clearer boundaries. She plans to post when it feels right, not out of obligation. Her focus is on capturing real memories, not curating a highlight reel. It's a shift that fans have noticed and embraced. As summer approaches, Jill says her calendar is filled not with brand deals or speaking events, but with intentional family plans, camping trips, gardening days, and maybe even some journaling. She's working on her next writing project, though she hasn't revealed whether it's a book or blog series. "Whatever it is," she wrote, "it's coming from a place of peace, not pressure." That might be Jill Duggar Dillard's greatest transformation yet. For a woman who grew up under the constant lens of television cameras and religious performance, choosing peace over pressure is nothing short of revolutionary.